Hello guys, and welcome to another part of Exile video. Today we're gonna talk about maps and how they actually work, how to do the Atlas skill tree, what are tablets, how to get your hideout, and all that stuff. This video is going to be more like a basic guide. So it's more targeted to beginners that don't really know how maps work. You don't need to have any PoE 1 experience for this video. We're gonna explain everything. Obviously, it can always help also someone that already knows how to map. Maybe there's just a little tip for you. There will be a second part of this video though, when we talk more about the min-maxing, how to get the most efficient XP, how to get the most efficient, like how to be most efficiently fast in upgrading your maps and all that stuff. We're gonna do that too, but this is going to be a second part. Although it would help me a lot to grow my YouTube channel if you also watch this video. So if you want to support me, watch it and then watch the second part. It will help you to understand this one too. Alright, so let's start. We are currently in our hideout, which is basically our housing. So from here you have a lot of vendors in here. You can place them around if you want as well. Like you can just turn him around or place him around. Good start. So you can like place them around where you want. There's your web device where you basically start the maps. We're gonna talk about this soon. For the people that just started, you can enter maps after you finish the boss in Act 3 Cruel, like the endgame boss. And then you can basically go to maps. You will get a quest line. It will lead you to Cigarette's Refuge. And there you also have a map device and NPCs. And that's basically like your operation base for the first part until you get a hideout. Again, we're gonna show you how to get a hideout, don't worry. So, in case you ever go to somewhere else, let's say you have a friend, you help him to kill a boss or whatever, and you don't know how to go to Cigarette's Refuge, you basically click here in Act 3 Cruel, and then the Cigarette's Refuge past, you click on that, and you will spawn there where you can do your maps, until you have a hideout. And once you have a hideout, there's this blue button here, and you can just click on that and port to your hideout. So, this is where you can do your maps. And those thingies here are actually, which then will go away as soon as you buy them, as here. But like, you could buy as many tier 1 maps as you want. So you can never really run out of maps, just of the higher ones, but you can always map. So there's no issue there. So this is basically like your waystones. As you can see, they have tiers. Tier 1 is the lowest. We're going to talk about this later. We go step by step. So first of all, what is the maps at all and what you need to do there? Once you completed your quest and you start mapping, you will have another quest line, which is then saying you need to complete 10 tier 1 maps to get skill points for your Atlas, then 10 tier 2 maps. I just want to talk about this without talking too much about the skill tree, right? When you start, you don't have any points, so we don't have to care about it. How does mapping work? So in the top left, you have first of all a map legend. So basically, if you click this eye, you can basically have this permanent here, and then you can hover over all. So if you click on this, you can throw a map in, and all these thingies here are basically telling you what is on the maps. So for the PoE players who are used to have always a boss on your map, this is not the case anymore. As an example, there's this icon, which will basically tell you that the map has a map boss. So if you don't really have a good boss killer, you can also dodge these maps. They will drop good loot. So I would always recommend doing them. But in case it's like high and you just nearly in front of a level up, don't do them or whatever. So like don't get that risk. But here as an example is such an icon. So we know already, okay, this map has a boss. Then it also has irradiated. So the area is also plus level 1. That means if we throw in a tier 1 map, it's normally item level. If there's guides needed, just let me know in the comment section below. We can make guides about every single one as well, but this will be separate guides. For now, you just need to know they basically add more mobs, more loot, more maps to stay. With Dorianis, you can talk to him, but the real way to get maps basically is you run the tier 1 map. In the tier 1 maps, you have a chance to drop tier 2 maps. Then you run tier 2 maps, you have a chance to run tier 3 maps, and so on. Again, there's this thing going on with the area levels. So if you have a higher item area level, you can also drop higher map tiers already. So if you focus those maps, alright. So This is basically, you just always click these nodes and you go on and on and on. These things are endless. As you can see, there's a lot of things that I travel through. This is just like endless, so you don't have to really worry about where you go. You cannot really do anything wrong. You cannot go the wrong way or whatever. It just matters on what node. I will call them maps because of PoE1, just in case. And it also, you put them in the map device. So the first thing you kind of want to do once you start doing this, you want to get your hideout. And here as an example, we have the hideout icon. As you can see, somewhere here is the hideout icon as well. So here's the hideout and it has this icon. Once you do this map, it's like killing 30, 40 mobs or so. It's a really, really small map. It does has a lot of rare monsters, so just put in the low. So you just want to do that, do all the tiers and go higher and higher and higher. If you go higher, you drop better items. You don't necessarily drop a lot more loot. It is increasing a little bit. So if you're a PoE1 player, you will not drop from 1 exalted to 10 exalteds in a map. This is not gonna happen here in PoE2. But you will drop like 2 or 3 exalteds per map or something like that when you're in the highest tier. So it still goes up, just slower. So don't get frustrated, it will go up. So you basically just upgrade your tiers, and this is the most basic way to play the game. Then there is this towers here, where you can put in tablets. I have some in my stash, so I can show you real quick. First of all, there's different ones. There's ones that put breaches on maps, which is again just mechanics. Those give irradiated, which is the +1 level area thingy. This gives ritual altars, mirrors of the Lyrium. If you level through the story, you already encountered some of those mechanics, so they are familiar. You maybe just don't know the names of it, but you will see what it means once you do them. So in this tower, you can put in a tablet, and it will give icons to, well, in this case, 5 maps in the range of the tower. So the range of the tower is kind of like this. It's kind of like your world screen when you are looking at the tower and it's like centered to your screen. So plus minus like this, right? So this is the area. So that means this map can be affected. This one here, although, cannot be affected because I put them in this tower. So it's in this radius. They're really, really easy to understand. And if I will click on this, it irradiates them. You can craft those tablets as well as you can craft your maps. So this works with basically the currency. So the normal way is you have a map, you're gonna transmute it, you get an effect, then you transmute it again, you get another effect. In this game, prefixes are always buffs that are supposed to make the maps easier. If you press hold, you can see prefix and suffix on the left. And suffixes are meant to make the map harder. So magic size monsters, well, in this case, it's not making it easier, but it gives you more mobs, so it's something really good. Burning ground is just fire on the ground, and it makes it way more harder to run the map because on some places you're just burning and you're dying. The negative effects are also increasing the waystone drop chance. The positive effects, well, they give you more mobs in this case, so it also increases the chance of loot, but they don't give you this percentage. Then we could also like regal this map, and as you see, we increased our drop chance because we got a negative effect. Temporal chains is a curse that slows you throughout the whole map, so you have less movement speed, less attack speed, cast speed. Those are a lot of different mods. We're not gonna go through them, just as an example. And then you can also craft the tablets, which basically, as an example here, it increases my gold fund, and it gives us a chance to contain a shrine, which they give buffs and have also more monsters around them. So it's a bit more mobs and a bit more buffs for you if you click on them. Tablets you cannot make yellow. Maps you can make rare, and they can have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes or stats. You can also corrupt them. If you corrupt them, you also have a chance to get a tier 2 map. But we don't want to talk too much about corruption. This is something you're gonna do on like tier 10 plus maps if you really want so. I would recommend to like run the first maps blue until you feel comfortable, to make them yellow, and just go with what gives you a high success rate in maps. The maps basically work like this. Well, obviously for the tower, right? Throw in the tablet and it will just buff some maps around it. Really, really easy to understand. For the towers to have the option to put in a tablet, you need to run them. So you just go there, there's a console, you click on it, and then the tower map is basically done and you can put it in. So for the maps itself, it is basically like this in this game. If you open a map, you will have 6 portals. I can show you that. So we basically, we can just open this, it doesn't matter. You will get 6 portals and you can enter through all these portals. So in case you play alone, you can enter it 6 times. In case you play with friends, well, then every one of them can also enter your map as well, because the max group size is 6 players, so they can all enter it. Once you basically do the maps, you enter them. The reason you have more portals is, let's say your inventory is full, you want to go out, stash everything, and then go back into the map, so you can do that 6 times. But in this game, and I always say in this game because we always compare it to PoE1, in PoE1 it's different, but I don't want to talk about how it is in PoE1. In here, it's going to be, if you die in a map, or if you're in a group and someone dies, they cannot re-enter the map. You're out. The map is basically done. If you solo, the map is done because you cannot go in anymore. In group, if someone of your friends is dying, well, he is out, so for him the map is done, but not for you, so you can still continue. So this is getting really important because that means you also want to have somewhat of survivability in your builds. So don't go glass cannon, don't roll mods that gonna kill you, because at the end it's not gonna be good. If you die a lot, you will lose a lot of maps, especially like once you run the higher tiers. It also gonna hurt your map sustaining. So yeah, just try to not die, and yeah, you're gonna be fine. Obviously you die sometimes, it happens. It happens to me, it happens to everyone, but try to evade that. So this is basically the most simple way for the maps. So you just always continue upgrading your maps and so on until you are in the high tiers. You get way better loot, you can have way better stats. I was talking about a quest already that basically tells you to complete 10 tier 1 maps. Then you get 2 skills for your Atlas passive for skill tree. Yes, there is another skill tree. It's not a big one though, so don't worry. And then you have to kill 10 tier 2 maps and so on. And you will get points for this thingy here. This is your Atlas skill tree. I could now go through all the mods and talk about you what is what. We're not gonna do that. Well, this is as an example, just giving a few examples. So this is basically giving you essences they're used for crafting. This is basically giving you a higher chance for the tablet drops that we was already talking about. This basically is duplicating one of the rare mobs in the map, so more loot, more map drops, increased pack size, and all that stuff. For you, as a beginner, the most important nodes are this here. And for everyone else as well, if you just start the game, Waystones Find have a 10% chance to be a higher tier. Which this basically means is, if you drop a tier 1 map or a tier 2 map in your map, it has a 10% chance to then be increased to tier 3. So you progress a lot faster to the lower tiers, and also makes it so that you sustain more higher tier maps once you're there. So you want to grab all these nodes, and all these nodes are basically those 5 over here. And then here on the bottom, there's also quantity of waystones, so just more, not the increase. But this one is for loot. But yeah, these 3 are good. And then this thing is also really, really insane. It gives you 20% chance to be a higher tier. So just basically 2 of those nodes. So in total you have 70% to be a higher tier. So that's really, really good. You want this. And I would always recommend everyone to just like rush for this and skill it. It is really, really good at the beginning. You can always refund these points just with gold. Just on the Orianis, you can just refund Atlas points. You see it costs 5,000 gold, which I have 1 million right now. So at some point it's not going to be a problem for you to respec them. Just rush those nodes. And then there's this here as well, that gives you also increased quantity of waystones in your maps. So the first thing that I will do is rush to these 5 nodes here because they are the fastest accessible. I mean, through those nodes as well, obviously. Then click this point, then rush over here to the higher chance tier, and then go constant crossroads. And once you all have this, you're gonna be like already in high tier and stuff. And at some point you wanna make currency, so you're just gonna click on things that are giving you really, really good loot. But I would always say that those keystones are mandatory. For SSF, there's no doubt that they are. Obviously in a trade league you can always buy maps, but I wouldn't recommend you just gonna like a lot of time waste. You can easily sustain your maps. I never had to buy one, and yeah, and I did die a few times at the beginning as well. So even if you die sometimes, you're still gonna sustain them. So those nodes are really, really good. And then you just go with whatever, more pack size, more XP, more loot, all that stuff. So really, really easy. That's it for the Atlas. Right? So basically now you know what are tablets, how to do the maps, how to get a hideout, how to do the Atlas. And I would also think we could end the video here. There is normally nothing we have to talk about anymore. If you have more questions or whatever, just ask in the comment section below. And the next video that I'm gonna upload in 1 or 2 videos from now, so from the date this video got uploaded, maybe you watch it 3 days later and there is already the second part. We're gonna talk about how to most efficiently upgrade your tiers. So basically on what nodes you wanna take your higher tier maps and what nodes do you rush and stuff. But I don't want to give all this information yet to new players, because you just need to be a bit more comfortable with how the maps even work at all, and then you can min-max, right? You always min-max a bit later. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you watched till the end. It really means a lot to me that you guys are watching the videos. Thanks for the support. I stream nearly every day on Twitch as well, so make sure to follow there as well. And, you know, ring the bell and all those things. I'm not really a YouTuber, I'm more of a Twitch streamer. But I'm gonna try to nearly make daily content on YouTube as well from now on, and give you guys a lot of information. So make sure to subscribe as well here. And thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.